Greetings, this is Linda Schiller, Hanna at Inner Kid Keto, segment 74. You're going to think, what the heck is she doing now? I am wearing rubber gloves. I have got this scullery cap on. I've got an old apron on. But there's a backstory. The women will know what I'm talking about. If there are any men sitting out there, you might want to perk up your ears just a minute, just for a minute. Today's topic is male privilege. Today's topic started a couple of nights ago, Friday night actually. This is Sunday night, just a couple 3 days ago. I go to a spiritual growth group led by Coach Michelle on Friday night, and she gives us a topic, and we do some writing. And I'm going to share a little bit about the writing, and that'll take us into our topic. So the theme of the evening was self-forgiveness. You say, well, what has that got to do with food? In my case, a lot. And I'll bet you at least some of you are going to relate to this. So the message was, whatever you've done before, accept it and let it go. You are not perfect. Stop hiding from the past. Let the light pass through and shine upon you, because it's the only way to start again. Forgive yourself, not just once, but again and again, as many times as it takes to find peace. And this was from Brittany Burgunder or something like that. Forgiving yourself and choosing to love yourself. She said, these are the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves, the greatest we can give. And so our exercise was write self a letter of forgiveness. And we had about 4 or 5 minutes, and this is what I wrote. And I used my non-dominant hand. Linda, I'm forgiving you for feeling too smart and too important and too good to be a scullery maid, chief cook and bottle washer, floor scrubber, garbage collector, laundry maid to this and every other home you've lived in. Being banished to housework was always shrouded with shaming and being made to feel lonely, less than the men and boys in the house. Women's work, it was always mean, punitive, punishing, nasty, harsh, and judgmental. Boys didn't have to do it, only girls, as if we were second-class citizens, like slaves. The connotation of being humiliated, coerced, and abused always accompanied the chores. The men never pitched in, but waltzed off to the parlor or the game room to chat, smoke, drink, gossip, and belittle us. What we did was never praised, appreciated, and honored, always and forever taken for granted. Aha! No wonder I still hate to do it. And I wrote, wow, breakthrough at the end. So I'm wearing my non-fancy clothes. I'm wearing my old cap, dirty old apron. Cinderella, not at the ball. I did a little painting about it too. Up here is the golden world where the men live. Down here is the scullery maid hiding under the dirt at the lower edge of life. Now this is pretty dramatic. You can say, Linda, you're overstating it. Maybe more for this generation, I'm overstating it, but in the 40s and 50s and 60s, when I was growing up, this was pretty much normal. And I still know there are literally millions of American women and women around the world who work all day, do the shopping, do the cooking, do the cleaning, do the laundry, while their men play on their computers, watch football, take the night off. It's still more uneven. I would say a home where the man helps a lot is a rare situation. Maybe it's out there, but I don't know a lot about it. If you male heroes are out there, I'd love to hear from you and how you give your women the night off while you cook, clean, do the laundry, change the diapers. My dad bragged he never changed a diaper. Out of 12 kids, not one. Yeah, okay. I'll just leave that on the table, but I can tell you, maybe I haven't totally left it on the table. I'm going to tell you that the resentment, the hurt, the disappointment, the feeling less than, it gets old. If you have a high IQ, like a genius IQ, and you're still treated like the scullery maid, if you've worked 40, 50, 60-hour week and still feel like the scullery maid, if you have a college degree and still feel like the scullery maid, just because you're a girl, I know some of you women are nodding, some of you are crying, some of you are shaking your head like, she ain't lying about this one. If there are any men in the room who feel a little guilty of male privilege, you might want to just think about this. Just think about it a little bit. Now, there's a wonderful book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. This guy has a lot of insight and wisdom into the relationships between men and women. And he talked a lot about points. So we went to one of his workshops, my husband and I. It wasn't him in person, but it was one of his franchises. It was early in our marriage. It was probably a good thing. So a man thinks, I bring home the paycheck, $1,000, 1,000 points. And a woman thinks, man brings home the paycheck, 1 point. Man says, I take out the garbage, 1 point. Woman says, man takes out the garbage, 1 point. Men and women equate their hard work as different values. If you want to win a woman's heart, men, John Gray figured out that if he was literally walking around the house saying, what else can I do for you? Oh, let me take the garbage out. Oh, let me clean the counters. Oh, let me walk the dog. Hug the babies. What did it? Get the bedtime story. He got points for every single simple chore he did. And he only got 1 point for bringing home the income. Women evaluate men's contributions differently. And you probably equate our contributions differently. A simple thank you will go a long way. Or can I help you with that, honey? Or why don't you go sit down in the living room and put your feet up? I'll clean up after dinner tonight. There are women who would faint with that message. Faint. Now, if you're one of those people, one of those women who are still out there and looking for a man, the right man to marry, I have a wonderful book for you that really helped me. It's How to Marry the Man of Your Choice by Margaret Kent. It's an older book, but it taught me things I didn't know. And when I used that book, I found a great husband. End of story on that. I'll just let you know that we're still together after 29 years. So you might consider that book. I have little Linda up here with a mask tape over her mouth because a lot of times women feel voiceless. If you look at the number of women presidents in the United States, the number of women congresswomen, the women senators, representatives, governors, attorneys, even medical doctors. But you look in the typing pool, or you look in the maid's quarters of a hotel, or the low-paying jobs at Burger King, a lot of women. Who's babysitting? The women. Now, I'm not saying we're not sometimes better at some of those nurturing kind of jobs, but male privilege can create resentment, and resentment can backfire into dark behaviors. So I'm going to forgive myself for having resentment all these years about male privilege. I'm going to pull together a happier and more positive attitude about housework. It is my house too. And forgive myself for holding that grudge so many years. The younger generation may not find this to be so objectionable, but if you talk to women 65 and older, and you say, have you experienced some frustration with male privilege? I would expect that you will not find 1 in 100 that wouldn't agree with me that male privilege has definitely held court in our lives. So, what has this got to do with the inner kid keto? Because long-held anger, frustration, sadness, disappointment, feeling burdened, feeling taken advantage, feeling unappreciated, could lead to low self-esteem, could lead to disappointment, could lead to a feeling of failure. Oh, what's the use? I might as well climb into the food, gain 100 pounds. Nobody cares anyway. But if you're one of those enlightened men that would like to just kind of like help raise the boat, and if you're one of those stronger women who's willing to own your shadow and forgive yourself for having harbored resentment at male privilege, and say, okay, they were raised that way, we were raised that way, but this is a new day. Let's come into a better life. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to turn into a happier girl, happier woman, and I'm going to have self-love, no matter what, no matter who, because I matter, you matter, we matter. I know this is a topic that isn't popular, but you know what? I don't care if it's not popular. It's how I feel. And part of what Inner Kid Keto is about is feelings. This is how I felt for many, many years. And it is incredibly freeing to say it. Thank you for tuning in. We've got some good topics coming up in the next few days. I hope we see you tomorrow and the next day. God bless you. Have a good night.